All right, guys. Well, the Jaguars did a thing. The Jaguars did a thing. Um, they have hired Doug Pederson. Um, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. I definitely this is a good option. I mean, this was a good hire. This was my number one from the beginning. It's just we can't be happy about, I guess, how we got here. Um, But yeah, I went away from my phone. I didn't touch my phone for 30 minutes and I got back and I'm like notifications everywhere. I have text messages and I'm like, "Oh, we hired a head coach." It must have happened, guys. That must have happened literally right after I stopped live, didn't it? Cuz it just kind of literally came out of nowhere. But the Jaguars, we have their head coach. 5 minutes ago, I didn't know we had one, but now here we are. Z Money says, as an Eagles fan, press Taylor as OC, Swartz DC. Yeah, this is yeah, I'm just in it just like you guys, but this is a really good hire. Don't get it wrong. Doug Peterson is a guy that, look, one thing that I like, there's several things I like about Doug Peterson, and I'm probably going to link my coaching profile. Um, we were blowing you up in the live chat. No, no way, man. Yeah, it must have just happened after I ended. But he's a guy. Look, he developed Carson Wentz. He had Carson Wentz when Carson Wentz was at his best, like his rookie year, second year, whatever. People give Frank Reich a lot of the credit, but look, Frank Reich, I think I think Frank Reich has been exposed while he's been on the Colts, but still, got to get a good coaching staff in there. Also, he has been a part of a dysfunctional front office, but he was on the bad end of a bad front office. He was on the end of the front office um, where he was on the bad side of it. Basically, he wanted to hire his own coaches, and uh, these different guys, like the GM and the owner, basically dictated what offensive coordinator he was allowed to hire, which isn't what you do. Nick Lugwood with a $5 donation. Will you be happy with Matt Nagy and Press Taylor coaching Lawrence too, though? That's what we're potentially looking at. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be happy with Nagy. It had to sit on me. But right now, I mean, let me know all your guys' thoughts, man, because I know I'm much happier with Bisaccia, or with Doug Peterson than Bisaccia. This was definitely number one and number two for me. I like Doug Peterson. And why am I blurry? Do I look blurry to you guys? Let's see. All right, let's do it like that. I like Doug Peterson more than Eberflus, more than Nathaniel Hackett, more than I even liked him more than Jim Caldwell. I liked him a lot more than a lot of the options. But obviously, once Byron came in, that nostalgia was there. I was pretty excited about it, and then it kind of collapsed. That whole entire dream collapsed. But now here we are. The Jaguars like to break news at the weirdest times. It's 10 o'clock. We fired Urban Meyer at like 12:30 in the morning. Like, why? Why do we have to have these at such like weird times? You know what I mean? But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Like, I am like still shocked over it. My head didn't really wrap around it. It happened like I was really late to the game. Um, I'm just kind of going through Twitter. Actually, let me just open my Twitter. We'll go through Twitter together. We'll get everyone's reactions. Be new with a $5 donation. Let's get rid of Urban Meyer chat emoji. I will. I'll get onto that, man. They'll be gone. They'll be gone. I just been lazy with it, and yeah, we'll get them out of here. We'll replace it with a Doug Peterson. Charlie Boy says, "Welcome back, everybody." Yeah, we're getting the live chat back. I'm only gonna stick this to maybe like 30 minutes. I got my flight tomorrow is at 5:30 in the morning. Oh man, I did not. I thought it might have been like at 8 o'clock. All right, but that just means that I get there. I get there sooner, right? All right. So let's share screen. Let's share. the screen to see what people were saying. That's a press conference. Doug Pederson was interviewed first before anybody. Good hiring takes time. All this noise about Jaguars dysfunction has been social media nonsense. Shut up, Lenny. Come on. This is still bad optics, Lenny. Don't try to spin this into a positive. We interviewed Doug Pederson in December. The whole entire month of January went by. We didn't talk to him. And now we kind of circled back to him. So come on. Come on, man. True Seminole says, I'm confused. Isn't Peterson the reason the Eagles are the way? No, it's a big reason because of Javi Roseman and stuff like that. Like, if you look at what former players say about him, I mean, they love him. They really do. Oliver with a 449-pound donation. Thank you, man. And there's this one guy. Wait, let me. Is that no? It's Peterson Sproles. Darren Sproles on Doug Pederson in an open letter. I could write an entire story on Doug alone. The main thing that I want to thank Doug for was just being Doug. He never changed. We loved playing for him. I just wanted to thank him for coming to Philly and changing the culture. Does this not sound awesome right now? That's exactly what it is. Go live with Jags United, bro. Yeah, I'll shoot. Let me see something real quick. Oh shit. All right. I'm not gonna expose the DMs. Let me hit them up. All right. I just let them know. Okay. So let's go back through Twitter. So yeah, that's, I mean, there's this notion that players don't like Doug Pederson. That's completely false. Players love Doug Pederson. And the big thing about that is just Doug being Doug. Look, we've had guys in here that act like they're somebody and they come in the next day, they're a completely different person. You have to stay consistent with who you are. You have to be yourself because players can start seeing the fakeness, and the fakeness is the last thing that you want. And the big thing about building the culture, that's exactly what we need. Eddie Polito with a $5 donation. Doug gave Philly the first ring. Guys, we just hired a Super Bowl champion. The Jaguars just hired a Super Bowl champion. I mean, you got to love that. You got to love that. Let's see. Watch this, guys. You guys ready for this? Pederson. You guys want to see something right here? I think I'm calling it now. Look, it's timestamp December 18, 2021. I'm calling it right now. Doug Pederson wants the Jags or head coaching job, then he will be our head coach. The fit is too perfect, and he will be great. December 18th. Let me just retweet that. Let me just toot my own horn a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how people want to talk about Doug Pederson winning a Super Bowl. What the hell do you think Byron has around his fingers? Called the plays. He won a Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I still would have hired Doug Pederson, but you know. Ooh, Cameron Wallace says, yes, follow him. He's a good follow. Jax has a new head coach, Duval. How will Doug Pederson do with the Jaguars? Will it find our 2022 campaign? Yeah. In Doug Pederson's new book, he ridicules the play calling of the Jags versus Patriots in the AFC Championship and shares how it infuriated him. It went through the entire blunder play by play and one of the most frustrating threads I've ever written. Here's how he blew the game. Yeah, so he hated the way the Jaguars called that AFC Championship game. So we basically played like pussies, is what he said. Volkfang with a $5 donation. We settled for a guy that would work with Balky. Remember, they offered Byron the job before even giving Doug a second interview. Yeah, and I don't. That's the thing. I mean, the truth is the Jaguars did let the Trent Balky thing dictate them, but I think given the circumstances, we still got a good head coach. I think given the circumstances, we got a good coach. You know, he started as my number 1. He went to my number 2, but still, if we had Rick Bisaccia, I would not be excited about that. You know, even like I didn't even want Nathaniel Hackett. Like Nathaniel Hackett just gives me major like camp counselor vibes. You know what I mean? I was not a fan of that. So thank you for the donation. Let's see what else we got on here. We're live on Pick Six. We're not going to be spreading Will Brince's live stream. It's all about this live stream. 257 people. Shout out to all you guys. Let's see. Breaking news: the Jaguars are hiring Doug Pederson. Jaguars find a replacement. Okay. People are shitting on Lenny Curry. I didn't mean to start Jaguars United raid. Is Jaguars United live right now? All right, let me do something real quick. I'm gonna invite him in here. Do I have my headphones? Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna get Jags United in here. All right, let me sorry, I gotta get my audio going real quick. Oliver Kenyon, who should we draft number 1 overall now? Oh, damn it. All right, let me do this. All right, my headphones are going low. I guess Hutchinson. I don't know. I gotta think about it, man. All right, bringing in here, we got Jags United. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up, dude? I got to turn you up. Hold on a second. I can barely hear you.
Let me get my audio settings.
Let's see here.
Speaker.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay, I can hear you. All right, there we go. What's up, bro?
Dude, I'm at to plug you into my headphones. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, it happens. It happens. All right, we'll let him.
I don't know what's going on.
I gotta figure out my situation. I can hear you through I'm hearing you through my computer right now. Let's see.
All right, I can hear you now. Sorry.
You can hear me?
Yeah, dude. My speaker monitors are all messed up right now, so it's all good, dude. We'll rock your headphones.
Dude, but here we are. We got our head coach. I mean, what are your initial thoughts about it, man?
It's funny. This is like kind of who we thought we were gonna get the whole time, and then now it's like, okay, now it's happened. So okay, let's roll with it. You know, honestly, I think all this like sideshow was all these other coaches trying to get leverage for their other jobs. Like, I don't think any of these guys, even Byron, dude. Like, I know we all wanted Byron, but dude, if you're Byron Leftwich and if you honestly have Tom Brady's endorsement, are you leaving Tampa Bay? Like, are you like, don't you think you're going to take over that job pretty soon? I don't know. Again, the bottom line for all of this is we know nothing, dude. Shad Khan hasn't said a single word. Dude, we know nothing.
That's what's been so difficult about the situation. Shout out to Tony P with a $2 donation. We need Nick Foles. I want to go that far. B News says, all right, I got tired of flipping back and forth. Dougie P. Yeah, and shout out to thank you, B News. And that's been the infuriating thing about this whole thing. It's like, dude, like we're not hearing anything. We're not getting any Twitter updates. We're just getting like this blue check mark said this. This guy on 1010 said that. This random person on Twitter said this about that. It was really difficult to follow along. We're here like it's February 3rd, and we were just like, come on, hire somebody. But I thought the whole process was pretty sloppy, judging from it all. And I don't know. I'm just glad that we finally got our guys on.
I mean,
we got a good guy too.
You could say it's sloppy, but I mean, honestly, think about it. There was 8 jobs open this year. Where does Jacksonville rank in that list of jobs available? Like, honestly, like it ranks toward the bottom. Like, we could argue over 6th, 7th, or 8th, right?
I don't think it. I think we make it at the bottom.
What do you mean?
Being honest,
no, saying like, are you saying like we're a good job or not a great job?
We should be a good job. Look at we have Trevor Lawrence. We have the first overall pick.
Okay.
We have all this draft capital. We have free agent money to spend. The only thing that we don't have is the brand, is the power of this logo. This logo is not as powerful as the Broncos.
We had 4 picks in the first 2 rounds, the last 2 years. We have nothing to show for it besides Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So, bad. I mean, yeah, we have picks and yeah, we have money, but we have nothing to show for it. We've had picks and money for the last 5 years. So, I mean, I like, you're right. It's the brand. Trent Baalke's still here. My personal opinion, we rank toward the bottom in jobs available. To the Minnesota job, you got Pro Bowlers on that team. The Denver job, you got a manager or an owner that's at least willing to like spend money. Dude, I think we're ranked at the bottom, and it shows.
Also, look at our expectations, though. Our Minnesota's expectation, go to the playoffs and win playoff games. We're just like, our expectations, let's go 6-11. Let's go 7. Like, we're such a low expectation job where you're really going to get your opportunity to build this thing.
But if you're a competitive coach, you want to go to somewhere with expectations. If you're a guy that's trying to build your career and trying to make a name for yourself amongst the elite of NFL coaches, which every NFL coach is trying to do, you want to go somewhere with expectations. Your worst nightmare is to go somewhere where they don't have expectations. Not to mention, you may be stepping into a situation. I brought this up earlier. You may be stepping into a situation like the Gene Smith, Mike Mularkey situation, where they fire the GM and the head coach after 1 year because the GM sucks. So, I mean, who wants to be in that situation willingly? There's just a lot of red flags when it comes to this franchise this year. I love Trevor Lawrence, love the draft picks, but with Baalke and Shad Khan and the history of, I mean, look, I know we all look at Tom Coughlin and his handling with the NFLPA and all of that as a different era, but everyone that works in NFL circles, they're still looking at that as Jacksonville. So it happened under the same owner. I don't know, man. I just think like we got the 5th or 6th best coach available, and we're probably the 5th or 6th best job available. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah. And we can debate that all day long. What's called Debo, the $5 donation. Jaguars made a great hire by complete mistake. Yeah, and I was on a live stream with Dilla a couple days ago, and he said that, look, anything good the Jaguars have done the last 10 years have been on accident. And that kind of, I can agree with it there. Collector Nostalgia with a $5 donation. You know we are Jags fans, and we celebrate a coach with a .531 winning percentage. Hey, Brian Billick won a Super Bowl. Maybe we should hire him. Cynthia with a $5 donation. Thank God for T-Law. You have a good trip. David,
going Bryan, somewhere? Are you going on a trip?
I'm going to Puerto Rico tomorrow at like 5 a.m.
Oh, but God, you know, great time.
The Jaguars take all precedent over.
I like that.
Unfortunately, I'm still packing my bag. It's only a 2 or 3 day trip, so it's not too much work to do. Shout out to David Bryan with a $5 donation. Doug Pederson nailed it. So I mean, I'm just excited now because now we can just start moving. I mean, man, like I have wasted way too much time on Twitter this last week. Now I feel like now I can finally chill and breathe. But yeah, the process wasn't smooth. I hope we can start getting some more clarity about, okay, what's Rick Spielman going to be? What exactly is Trent Baalke's role? I mean, do you think we hire Spielman on as an EVP, or what's kind of your gut feeling with that?
I mean, I think the best thing that could happen to this franchise is we hire Spielman. I mean, his history of draft picks and undrafted free agent signings would be, I mean, they've done more in Minnesota with him than we've ever done here, probably in our franchise history. I mean,
his draft picks were nice too. He had some nice drafts.
Look at the guys they've drafted: Dalvin Cook, Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, they undrafted
Stephon Diggs in like the 4th round.
Stephon Diggs. They picked up Adam Thielen as an undrafted free agent. Like, dude, I mean, they know. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
The only thing he couldn't do was get the quarterback spot right, but he doesn't have to do that here.
I mean, yeah, he has some weird affinity with Florida State, with Christian Ponder and Xavier Rhodes and Dalvin
usually
Cook.
That stuff works out, right?
Yeah. I mean, 2 out of 3 of those.
Got to pick the right ones. As long as we're not getting Gator players, I guess, from this point on, because that's starting to get. Even true. Me, I wasn't always on that, Florida players or bust things, but now I'm kind of like, okay, maybe I'll just stay away from that.
I mean, we always have Fred Taylor, right?
Yeah. That's the argument. Fred Taylor. That is like the argument.
We always have Freddie T. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, I think Pederson, that's who I wanted all along, honestly. Like, gut feeling when the job first opened, I think we all kind of felt like this was a perfect job for Doug Pederson to kind of come in, because the thing that Doug Pederson can do that no coach who was been hired can do is establish a culture that he has done before. right? Like we need someone that can come in and show Trevor Lawrence, show Travis Etienne, show Josh Allen, show a lot of this young core nucleus. Like this is the way that you prepare as a professional, and this is how you win a Super Bowl. We've had no one on this team that can do that. So I think it was probably the best hire for us.
Yeah. Yeah, it was I'm just glad it looks like we might have accidentally got it right, because I mean I was worried, like I was just worried about the direction. I didn't, and honestly I would have taken this over Hackett. I would have taken this over Eberflus. I mean, we're in a situation where like look, like and honestly a lot of it, one reason why I was at the beginning I was a little bit off of Byron was the fact that okay, maybe Byron would be good for us, but are we a good situation for Byron? Let's see about Byron Leftwich himself. Like, is this a good situation for Byron Leftwich for his first coaching job? I don't know. I mean, we have a lot of work to do. And Doug Pederson, at the very least, has been around it. He's taken a team with a bad culture, led them to a Super Bowl. He's, he was on the wrong end of dysfunction where, the GM and head coach were kind of looking over him, telling him what to do. So all that is good. Shout out to Dan Jukebox with a $2 donation. Another $2 donation. He says, I hope Fangio joins Peterson's staff. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we might see that. I don't know if there's a connection. Maybe Jim Schwartz is a connection. But I mean, at the very least now, like I can take a couple deep breaths before I start jonesing over who our coordinator is going to be. But yeah, Pederson, former quarterback, former player, he worked with and one thing that he said that he wants to do that he started getting off of when he was a head coach last was just working with a quarterback, being hands-on with a quarterback. And I think he really wants to, mold Trevor Lawrence. I think that's a good thing.
I had an Eagles fan in my channel that was talking about how he thought that that Pederson was the worst play caller and the worst decision maker in game he's ever seen. And I know there's like a recency bias when you're a fan that you hate a coach that got fired, right? We feel that same thing here. Is any part of you worried that the same things that got him fired may like manifest here in Jacksonville?
I mean, the thing is, when you hire a guy that's had a job before, you're going to find a lot of dirt on them. But you know who else was let go by the Eagles was Andy Reid. And you could find things about him, didn't win big games, whatever. And then, I mean, that worked out pretty well. And, a lot of times when you do things a second time, it works out better. You go back to school a second time, you learn a lot. Your second marriage, you do better. Like a lot of these different stuff, it just works out better. There is a statement released by Shad Khan. He's broken his silence. Quote, Doug Pederson 4 years ago won a Super Bowl as a head coach of a franchise in pursuit of its first world championship. I hope Doug can replicate that magic here in Jacksonville. But what is certain is his proven leadership and experience as a winning head coach in the National Football League. It's exactly what our players deserve, nothing less. Combine this with his acumen on the offensive side of the ball, and you have why I am proud to name Doug Pederson as the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know our fans will warmly welcome Doug, be careful there, and his family to Duval. And I personally look forward to having Doug as a part of everything we envision for this team, downtown community, in years ahead. Yeah, I wouldn't be throwing in there any thoughts on the fans. I'll say that. A couple quick super chats. I'll let you speak. Ian says, yes, now we can take a breath and look forward to the new future. Here we go again. James with a £5 donation. I just joined from Ireland. Is Pederson coming? Is Pederson confirmed? Thoughts, UCF and Jason? Yeah, I just read a statement from Shad Khan. We have 503 people in here. Shout out to everyone in here. I'm here with Jags United. You can check out his YouTube channel. But I guess what are your thoughts on the statement?
Yeah, I mean, the statement's good. I mean, look, if anything, it just goes to show that, like, honestly, Shad Khan probably does not have much of a pulse of what's happening with his fan base. And does that really surprise anybody? Like, he probably doesn't read Twitter. He probably has his people that probably inform him, but he's not at the ground level the way that we are. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense that he would put out a statement like that. Look, I think Peterson's best case scenario for us. He wanted to know our thoughts from Ireland. Dude, I love that the Jags have fans in Ireland. That's so awesome to me because, there's people that were on Twitter like, I'm changing my team. Like, bro.
It was bad, man.
Bad. I made a joke earlier. I saw a thing on Twitter that was, that trend that went around. And again, I know I don't want to make people mad at you, but this is just me talking. I'm not speaking for you. I saw someone on Twitter that was like, I've been a fan since 2005. I'm a change in my fanship. I was like, bro, 2005, I was freaking driving in 2005, dude. Like that's nothing, dude. Like, so it's different if you've been here since the beginning, like you and me have, bro. It's just like, look, was I gonna jump ships on the team? I wasn't gonna do it. So I knew what kind of situation this team was in, and I was fully expecting. Who was the dude? Who was the D coordinator that everyone thought we were gonna hire? The dude with the Raiders. Yeah, like
the Passacia?
Yeah. People were
special
like,
teams guy, yeah.
If we hire him, and I was like, dude, honestly, that kind of seems like the type of guy that's going to take a job for a year and get fired with Balky next year. Like, again, the Mike Mularkey situation. That's totally what I was expecting. So I just was going to chalk it up as a loss. I'm glad to see we got Pederson because, I mean, at least now I can hope for a 5 to 6 win season next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Alms with a $5 donation. Would have been nice to Byron be the guy to right the ship, but Dougie was number 2 on my list. I'm not too mad. Yeah, and wherever head coach job, if he eventually gets one, Byron Lefters, I'm sure he will. I'll be rooting for him as long as it's not in the AFC South. Noah with a $2 donation. Dougie Fresh. There we go. Ryan Dotson with a $10 donation. Give me Joe Brady at OC and Vic Fangio at DC, and I'll buy 4 season tickets. Okay. I think Joe Brady's going to the Bills from what I saw. So I think he's actually going to quarterback coach. Fangio at DC. I think that's one to look out for. I do believe that. Dan Jukebox, $5 donation again, says Pederson and Lawrence versus Reich's win. It's going to be a nice. Ooh, that is nice. That's juicy. Now, we have that. I mean, a lot of Eagle stuff in the AFC South, but man, it's there's a lot of people. From the beginning, they wanted a guy with experience and head coaching experience, and top 2 guys were Caldwell and Doug Pederson, and I know myself I was always like, just with Jim Caldwell's age, that scared me. He's like 68, I think now. Like, I don't know. It just seems like a little. And this guy's right for the age. So I don't know. I think after a disastrous, just the optics. Maybe the search wasn't disastrous, but the optics of it all was pretty bad. But now we've got now we can move forward with this, and it's pretty exciting.
It's just, I mean, if you look at the way the NFL's trending, I mean, look at like kind of what's popular right now. I mean, I know I'm kind of ripping this from 1010XL. They talked about how the young offensive coach is like the new meta for the NFL, and it's, so we didn't get a young new guy, but we did get an offensive coach that has a proven track record of winning. So it's like, I'll take that, and so it could have been worse. It could have been way worse. We could have had the fans in an utter revolt protesting at the stadium, all of that. So
we got Trevor Lawrence weighing in. Let's get to work. Welcome to Duval. Great days ahead. All right. This is the man we have to keep happy. If Trevor Lawrence is happy with it, that should be we got a true quarterback developer in here. And one thing interesting with Shad's statement was that we got an offensive guy. It sounds like that was the direction the whole entire time. What is best for Trevor Lawrence? At least I hope that's, kind of what the thoughts are. But hey, man, if Trevor Lawrence is happy with it, I think that's something to be happy about.
For sure. I mean, since the beginning, it's been all about Trevor Lawrence. You hit it nail on the head. Again, like you said, it's weird. Like, it's just kind of, I keep coming back to this. I don't know how else to say it. We all kind of thought that Doug Pederson was going to be the coach like the second Urban was fired. And we went through all these roller coasters of up and downs. And then here we are with Doug Pederson, the coach. And it's like, okay, here we are. We're just what we thought. So they did kind of pull us through this. I don't know how much of the media is to blame for that or other coaches' agents are to blame for that. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens with the front office position because I'm a big believer in the front offices of trickle-down effect on how the franchise is going to go. So I hope that it's not Balky making the decisions. That's for sure.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of work to be done. I think a lot of that is just, it just seems like a lot of dysfunction in the front office. There's a lot of people not trusting each other. There's a lot of stuff where it just seems like communication is not very good. I mean, this whole entire thing just it needs to be reviewed. It needs to be revamped. And I think that's one of the things that maybe they're going to work hard on behind the scenes. Like I said, I think it's good that we have a guy was a part of a dysfunctional organization. I mean, the Eagles, like literally the reason why Doug was released from the Eagles was because he wanted to hire a certain offensive coordinator, and the GM and owner said, no, we're not going to let you do that. We don't want you to hire him. You don't do that to a head coach. If a head coach wants to hire somebody, they should be allowed to do that. They're the head coach. They're going to be working with them day to day, hour to hour. They're going to be installing games plans with them. And the GM and the owner are just going to be sitting in their, offices doing their work. So, like, if there's anybody that knows how a head coach's downfall can be, the front office, I mean, it is this guy. I mean, it makes a ton of sense. It just definitely stinks the way it happened. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we had more, I wish we were more privy to information on the breakdown to the type of decisions that are being made from the GM and the coach. Like with Urban and Trent Baalke, like we knew Urban was making all the decisions, but obviously there's no official record of that. So I wish we could know the breakdown of who's making decisions when it comes to Trent Baalke versus Doug Pederson, but that's information that we'll never know. And I think that's what fans are kind of upset about with Shad Khan, is because if you're going to be super in the shadows and not transparent about that type of information, you better win. You know what I mean? You better at least come out with some W's. And the fact that we keep losing every game and we're never winning and you're still not going to give us that information, that's, I think, what fans, their frustration is boiling over to. And I get it 100%. And I don't fault any fans for anything they've said or done or anything like that when it comes to handling how they're, what their emotions toward this team. I just quite frankly don't think that Shad Khan cares. And again, I think that's a source of the fans' frustration. Is we're seeing now that Shad Khan doesn't care. But whatever, look, Shad Khan's a billionaire. He didn't get to where he's at from taking advice from random people. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We're fans. You and me. We live and die by everything the Jags do. So we're in it. Our skin's in it a little bit more. It's just bottom line is we'll never know if Doug Pederson or Trent Baalke is pulling the strings on draft picks, free agents, day-to-day transactions between practice squad and the 54th dude on the roster. We'll never know that information. So we can, conjecture and speculate, but the best thing we can do is just hope for some wins and hope that hope they bring in the right people around Trevor.
Yeah, and here's someone from a Nash. He's My Sports Update, 500,000 followers. Everything we said about Urban Meyer 1 year ago will be the same for Doug Pederson. Has Trevor Lawrence, number 1 pick, plenty of cap space, owner is patient, no state tax. There are things you like in Jacksonville. Just need structure and stability upstairs. So yeah, I mean, all the tools are there for a guy to succeed. It's just all about, will they be able to? Can they finally get it right? I mean, like I was saying earlier, our standards are pretty low. I mean, we could go out here and go 7-10 and we're going to feel good about it because look, we actually got some wins. What we need to get out of this thing where September comes, we go 1-3 or 0-4, and then by October we're on life support, and then by November the season's over. I mean, we have to get out of that. And I mean, a lot of people, they wanted a proven winner, and the Jaguars definitely got a proven winner, which is awesome. So I think, I mean, it feels like nationally people are liking higher. I think it's just more about the optics were bad, the playing around. They shouldn't have haggled around with Leftwich as much as they did. That's not a good look. And players on the Jaguars looking at it, players around the league are looking at it. I don't know. We just have to hopefully put this in a rearview mirror, start working on building a winner, and I think we can move forward in hopefully a pretty good direction.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of really believe this, and I'll say it again. And I think every fan base actually goes through this. You just don't really see it unless you're in that fan base. But coaches and players and agents will play franchises for leverage for what they want. Mm-hmm. And I just think you're saying the optics looked bad to the outside, and because people like Rappaport and Schefter tweeted about dysfunction, but this is what agents want to like conjure up about their clients. If you can make the Vikings think that the Jags are interested in O'Connell, that makes O'Connell's value go up. If you can make the Bucks think that the Jags are very interested in Byron Leftwich, that makes his value go up. Like, the NFL is an entertainment business. And what comes with an entertainment business is games being played like this. And yeah, it wrenches our guts and our hearts out to see coaches interviewed and then taking other jobs, or coaches declining to take job offers. But it's a game. It's a game, and it's a game on the field, and it's a game in the with the agents. And at the very beginning, when this all started, we all knew Doug Pederson was going to be the coach, and we had to go through all of this game to get here. Again, I'm a parrot. I'm a broken record. I hate to be it. The coach doesn't really matter to me. It's who's drafting the players, who's bringing in the free agents, who's deciding who to pay and who to bring in to help Trevor. Because you talked about about how the Jags go 1-4 or 0-4, 1-3 in September, then we're giving up. But the bottom line is, a guy like Justin Herbert, a guy like Joe Burrow, they brought in people to help them. They brought in receivers and offensive linemen and tight ends, and they brought in people to help them. So Urban's biggest fault over everything he did, Urban's biggest fault was he did not do enough to help Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So is the next person, whether it's Trent Baalke, whether it's Rick Spielman, Doug Pederson, is the next person going to do enough to help Trevor Lawrence take the next step? Are they going to bring in the receiver? Are they going to bring in the tight end? Are they going to bring in the offensive lineman? That's the true question, because everything else doesn't matter. We have our franchise quarterback. Are we going to help him? And that's where I'm at on it. I don't think the coach matters as much as other people think. It's are you going to bring in help for Trevor?
Yeah. And shout out to everyone in here, man. 639 people in here. This has to be my most popular random live stream. But this is the thing about it, man. Like, I think there's a big misconception about Doug Pederson about not being not being a player's coach, players not liking him being a dickhead. But that's very far from the truth. I read this one earlier before you got on. I'm gonna read it again. This is Darren Sproles on Doug Pederson in an open letter. I could write an entire story on Doug alone. The main thing is that I just want to thank Doug for being Doug. He never changed. We love playing for him. I just want to thank him for coming to Philly and changing the culture. I mean, there are so many buzzwords in that. He never changes the person, changing the culture. I mean, that's what we need right now. Like, we've had, even going back to like Del Rio, like we've had situations where like even Doug Marrone was like that too, where guys didn't really know what they are. You know, they come and they try to be one guy, then the next day there's somebody else. That's not genuine. Players are going to read right through that. And coming in, getting a guy that, look, players will respect, they'll play for him and they'll trust him. And I think that's huge, especially, coming from where the Jaguars are, where there's a lot of trust issues that have been going on. James with a quick £5 donation or euro. Who would you guys take at the moment? Round 1 and 2, love from Ireland, Jags family.
Good question. That's a good question.
Will definitely be. I mean, we'll answer this quickly because I really don't want to harp on draft, but I don't know. At this moment, probably Aiden Hutchinson, then try to find a receiver round 2. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
No, Evan Neal. Evan Neal number 1.
But we don't need a tackle right now, though.
Brick wall, bro. Telling you, Pat in pass protection, didn't see a single. I don't think he gave up a single pressure all season. I'm not even kidding you. Like, if it was like, okay, give me Evan Neal. That dude's gonna protect the blind side of Trevor the rest of his career.
Yeah. So I think that's solid. I don't know. It just stinks because right now is he, because you watch more films, is he a huge upgrade over Cam Robinson?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As long as it's a, I mean,
sorry to cut you off. The second he's drafted, he will be the third biggest lineman in the NFL, next to Orlando Brown Jr. and Trent Williams. He's the next biggest offensive lineman, and he moves like he's like a tiny, like I'm telling you, not amazing in run block. Like he doesn't really block down great when it comes to like run block. I don't care about that. The dude does not give up pressure against pass rush. That's what I want.
Yeah, and hey, we need to build around Trevor Lawrence. It's just, you know, I like I don't know. We'll get more to draft more. It's just I pose this question to some people on Twitter. What would you rather have like in their prime? Would you rather have Trent Williams or Nick Bosa?
I think it's a loaded question because we've seen Nick Bosa really good for a handful of years. We've seen Trent Williams good for like 15 years. So am I going to get Nick Bosa for 5 years and Trent Williams for 15? Because then I'm taking Trent Williams for 15. Am I going to get Nick Bosa for 15? Then I'll take Nick Bosa. So like I said, it's hard to know.
Wow, what a great way to avoid that question. It was very simple. Would you rather have this or this guy? And you totally figured out a way to juke it out. And
dismantled it.
Yeah, I got to respect it, I will say. All right, guys, we're only going to be here another couple minutes. I've got, I want to be live all night. I mean, 654 people. I should just be, you know what I'm going to do? Are you going live after this?
I mean, I don't know. I was just thinking I don't know what I'm doing.
How about this? I'm gonna drop your link down.
Do it. I'll go live. I'll go live. Yeah. We'll freaking just spitball after.
Yeah, because you need to. I mean, you need to. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Leave 654 people?
Send them my way, dude. We'll freaking disrupt we'll make all of Jags Twitter mad. That's what I do constantly.
Oh yeah, I've been better on Jaguars Twitter, man. People haven't been getting angry at me lately. It's been a good thing.
So here's the difference. See, you call them out on Twitter. I just call them out on YouTube. So they don't watch my YouTube, so they don't see it happen. But I call them out on YouTube.
No, I mean, if people come at me with dumb shit, yeah, I'm gonna let them have it, man. I mean,
that's good. I respect that. I do.
I'm relentless. All right, guys, I pinned the link to Jaguars United to Jason's YouTube channel up there. He's gonna get a quick live for me. I'm passing on the torch to him. He's going to take it. He's going to run with it. He's going to do a good job. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone, for being here. I hate the circumstances right now. I'd be going live for another hour and a half if I could. But, you know how it is. Got to get out of here. But thanks, guys, for being here. Thanks, Jason, for being here. I'll definitely be in your live stream after this.
I appreciate it, bro.